You've probably seen it glamorized in movies, at parties, surrounded by bright lights and loud music. I'm talking, of course, about MDMA. But what's really going on behind that temporary high? Well, there's a pretty serious cost, and that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
I mean, look at it. It can look like a piece of candy, right? Totally harmless. It gets called a party drug, and that brings up the big question we're tackling here. What is the real cost of that temporary feeling?
All right, so let's get right into it. What is MDMA anyway? You've probably heard it called Ecstasy or Molly. It usually shows up as these colorful little pills or capsules, basically designed to look fun. But that whole fun and harmless look, it's really just a disguise, and a pretty deceptive one at that.
And right away, here is a massive red flag. This stuff isn't grown on a farm. It's made, or cooked up, in illegal labs. Because it's completely unregulated, there's zero quality control. That means you're putting your life, literally, in the hands of some unknown chemist. You have absolutely no way of knowing what's actually inside that pill.
So when scientists actually test the pills that are sold as ecstasy, what they find is, well, it's pretty scary. I'm not just talking about a little filler. We're talking about things like methamphetamine, the super dangerous opioid fentanyl, or sometimes just mystery chemicals. The actual amount of MDMA could be tiny, or it might not even be in there at all. It's a total gamble.
Okay, so with all that risk, why do people even take it? To get that, we have to look at what the drug itself is actually supposed to do to you. Basically, it creates this really intense but super temporary high by completely hijacking your brain's chemistry.
Yeah, you can think of it like a three-part chemical attack on your brain. First, it just dumps a massive amount of serotonin. That's your feel-good chemical, the one that regulates your mood. Then, it spikes your dopamine levels, which is what tells your brain, whoa, this feels amazing, let's do more of this. And to top it off, it cranks up your norepinephrine, which is what kicks your body into high gear, making your heart race and giving you a jolt of energy. It's like flipping all the switches to on at the exact same time.
So what does all that chemical chaos feel like? Well, for a little while, you feel super energized, really talkative, and maybe a little too friendly and emotional. It creates this illusion of connection and pure joy. But I gotta stress that key word, temporary. Because as we all know, what goes up has to come down. And with MDMA, it doesn't just come down, it comes crashing down, hard. This is all about the payback, what your brain makes you pay for that artificial high.
See, here's the thing. Your brain doesn't have an endless supply of these chemicals. I like this analogy. Imagine your serotonin is like a reservoir of water. MDMA doesn't just open the floodgates a little bit. Nope. It's like it dynamites the entire dam, forcing every last drop out all at once. So what's left behind? An empty, dried-up reservoir. And that chemical deficit is what causes that awful, sometimes days-long crash.
And when you put the high and the crash side by side, the difference is just wow. On one hand, you get a few hours of feeling great, but the price you pay for that is on the other side. Days of feeling depressed, anxious, confused, irritable. The trade-off is just brutal.
And listen, this isn't just about your brain or your mood. The drug sends shockwaves through your whole body, putting your physical health in real danger too.
Remember that norepinephrine we talked about? When that surges, your body is basically thrown into a state of emergency. Your heart starts pounding, your blood pressure shoots up, you start sweating like crazy. And a lot of people get these muscle cramps and can't stop clenching their jaw. Your body is under an incredible amount of stress.
But out of all the immediate physical risks, there's one that is extremely dangerous: hyperthermia. That's a fancy word for your body overheating to a point where it can actually kill you. Now, imagine you combine that with being in a hot, crowded club, dancing for hours. It's a perfect storm for disaster.
And when I say disaster, I'm not exaggerating. This isn't just about feeling a bit hot and sweaty. Severe hyperthermia can lead straight to fainting, seizures, and even your organs shutting down. This is how a single night out can become fatal. It happens.
Okay, so what about after the crash is over? Does everything just go back to normal? Not exactly. The fallout doesn't just disappear. The damage can stick around, affecting your health and your future for a long, long time. And a lot of times the damage actually builds up over time. So maybe in the beginning, it's things like paranoia or panic attacks. But if someone keeps using, that can spiral into serious mood disorders and long-term depression. And the really scary long-term stuff,
We're talking about permanent memory problems and actual physical damage to the parts of your brain that are supposed to make you feel happy.
And then there's the legal side of things, which we need to be really clear about. Here in the US, MDMA is classified as a Schedule 1 drug. That is the most serious category there is. What that means is the government has determined it has a high potential for harm, it's illegal, and it has no accepted medical use for teens. Period.
And the danger isn't just to the person taking it. It puts everyone else on the road at risk too. Trying to drive on MDMA, it's an unbelievably bad idea. Your judgment is shot, your reaction time slows way down, your vision gets blurry, and your coordination is just gone. It's not just a risk, it could be a fatal decision for you or for someone else.
Get ready for this number, because it is absolutely wild. Some of the pills they've tested from the street contain 3, 4, even 5 times the normal dose. It's literally a game of Russian roulette every single time. You have no clue what you're actually putting in your body.
And this is so important for anyone who's a teenager listening to this. Your brain is still developing, right? It's building all these super important pathways for things like making good decisions and forming memories. Throwing a powerful chemical like MDMA into the mix during that critical time, it makes your brain way more vulnerable to damage that could be long-lasting or even permanent.
So, after hearing all that, it really all boils down to one thing: a choice. And look, this isn't about trying to scare you. This is about giving you the real facts so you can make a smart, informed decision about your life and your future.
So how do you stay safe? It's all about being proactive. It starts with what you're doing right now, learning the facts, understanding the real dangers. It's about taking a second to think about your goals, your health, your dreams, and just asking yourself, is a few hours of feeling good worth risking all that? And it's also about having a game plan, right? Knowing how to get out of a risky situation, and remembering that there's always a trusted adult you can talk to if you're feeling pressured or need help.
When you really get down to it, the truth is pretty simple. Choosing to protect your brain, your body, and your future by staying away from these kinds of unpredictable drugs, that's not just a good choice. It's one of the smartest and most powerful decisions you can ever make for yourself.
So, let's circle all the way back to the question we started with. When you really look at the whole picture, the crash, the dangerous impurities, the risks to your body, the long-term brain damage, you gotta ask yourself, is a few hours of a chemical high really worth all of that? And ultimately, that's a question only you can answer.